Hey, sweets.
Hey, Savories.
I'm Alyssa.
And I'm AJ. And welcome to the Sweet
Wait,
or
what?
Is that it?
Isn't it? And this is the?
Oh, you're right. And this
Wait,
is...
can you see my feet?
Not your feet, no.
Okay, good. I
You
don't
can
want-
see her feet?
No, her thigh.
Oh, thigh. That's fine.
That's fine. You can see.
I'm
me.
wearing shorts, man.
I just don't want them to
It's
see my
fine.
feet.
Whatever.
Hey, sweets.
Hey, Savories.
I'm Alyssa.
I'm AJ, and this is the
Sweet or Savory podcast.
Yeah. We're back.
We're back. Did you miss us?
Did you miss us? Oh, that's the sound. That's the sound, right?
That's the sound, yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
We're back. Did
We're
you
back.
miss us? Because we missed you.
We missed you.
Woo!
Woo!
And welcome to our new
Studio. Oh my gosh.
If you're only listening to audio, I'm going to have to get you to go on to YouTube
and Spotify.
and Spotify. So you can see our new background
It's
because
crazy.
we have a new studio and it's actually in our house.
Yes, it is. We converted a shed that was attached to our detached garage, and we have been working on it since the end of November.
hmm We
And-
had some hiccups
Some
along
hiccups,
the way.
obstacles, a lot of compromising, a lot of working together.
Right.
Yeah, it's been great.
It's been great.
We've had a lot of help as well. Shout out to your dad.
Yes, my dad, we contracted him. Just kidding. He just came over one day and helped us put the wood panels up.
Yep.
And these wood panels we got over a year ago
Yes.
from Wood Veneer Hub. Thank you so much for sending these to us.
Yes, thank you.
We told them that we have a podcast and we wanted to set up our studio. And it took a while to finally get it up, but
But finally,
it's here and it
it's
looks
here.
so good.
We also had help from our friend Devin, who's behind the camera. Thank
yes,
you, Devin.
Guest producer.
Guest producer today helped us really because it has been over a year since we have put out a podcast episode. So we're very thankful, Dev. He helped me put in some of the flooring too. Man, what a journey it's been.
What a journey it has been.
It has been quite the year already in the
Mhm.
last, 4 months?
Yep.
But it is also 2024 was very
Oh, like a
big for us.
big year.
Yes.
What did we do again?
Uh,
I can't even remember.
so much. Okay, if you're joining us for the very first time, this is the first time joining the podcast. This is a podcast based on a group chat question that we got from our friend Danny Salerno.
And she brought up the question, is peanut butter sweet or savory? And obviously it was not obvious to us that we didn't know that we had different opinions on
it.
that.
Actually, the whole group chat.
The whole group chat had different opinions on it, but I think I was more shocked that AJ and I had different opinions on it because we had been together at that point for years
Yeah,
and we had not known
that's
that
true.
we didn't realize. I don't know. I feel like it is a big deal. Whenever I ask people this question,
Yeah.
when I meet them, it sparks up a pretty long conversation about
Mhm.
it because they feel pretty strongly one way or the other.
Yes.
And most people are not on my side, but that's okay.
Just to remind you, my side is that I think peanut butter is savory.
And I think peanut butter is sweet.
My argument has always been kind of like the at the root of peanut butter, like the organic one that you get at like Winco is savory. And also, I don't know, I think of kare-kare, Filipino dish. I think of Thai food, a lot of peanut sauce, things like that. And then Alyssa's side is, I feel like it has to do with how you grew up.
Yes, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich like that. When I think of peanut butter, I think of a PB&J, and that is a sweet treat in
Yeah.
my opinion, and
mhm.
in my family's opinion, and in 50% of the population. I think.
I think less than 50%.
Well, we'll have to ask every one of our guests.
Yeah, let's
Oh.
ask that again.
We just teased that we're gonna have guests this season.
Yes, we are. Last season, we had Justine on, our sister, and very thankful. She joined in on the Millennial versus Gen Z So check that episode out if you can.
Right.
But this season we have some very cool guests
Very
lined up.
special guests lined up. Should we just tell them who our first guest is, or?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know when we're releasing that in the order.
True.
We don't know.
Okay, so we'll wait.
But we will tell you on this season,
we will have Kimiko Glenn.
From Waitress, Centaur World.
Orange is the New Black.
Orange is the New Black.
I found her first.
Has Been Hotel. She's amazing. We've been working on getting her music out. Her and I have been kind of doing demos for her new music. So I'm just very excited to be part of that. And we're excited to have her on the pod soon.
Yeah.
So that's just a little teaser.
So a little teaser for one of our guests, but we're going to have more guests this entire season, which we're excited about because that's one of our goals for the podcast is to have guests and have them debate with us.
And have them come to the studio. We wanted a space that anyone could come through. We also want to give a shout out to our OG producer, Julie Texan, who has a 1-year-old now.
I know, and we haven't even met him yet.
I know.
That's really sad. We have to go the next time we're in Orange County. We need to make it a point to go and visit.
Absolutely. Life just comes at you fast. And I'm sure, especially for them, our friends who have kids, they always say that the days are long, but the years go by fast. And they just
it's crazy.
See their kid grow. Yeah, that's insane.
We haven't seen Julie and Nathan in one whole year.
I know. They did stop by when she was pregnant.
Yes.
So they saw our house, but
they stopped by a few times. So we saw them when she was pregnant. But
a big reason why this podcast exists is because of Julie. So thank you, Julie. We love you, and check out her podcast as well. Really pretty good. We are getting into just catching up with everybody since it has been a long time, and we just wanted to let y'all know the reason why we stopped the podcast the first time, which was in January 2024. Our dog Bean got sick. All of a sudden. We were on a trip to a basketball game, and all of a sudden we get a call from Alyssa's brother, Ryan.
Who was watching him. Well, Justine was watching him, and then he took over for a day, and he wouldn't get out of his crate, or he was shaking, wouldn't eat, shaking, could barely stand. So we were going through, we had to cancel our trip to Japan. We, it was like thousands of dollars to get his health checked and everything.
Yeah.
So we just couldn't commit to doing the podcast because it was like so much with Bean getting sick. And then
he's still dealing with it today. Actually, one of his eyes is kind of stuck open, unfortunately.
It was due to an ear infection.
Yeah.
So we have to just regularly keep his ears clean. But it did get to his nerves in his eye. So yeah.
Yeah. So just a reminder for y'all who have dogs, especially Frenchies, because their ears are open like that. Clean their ears. But the doctor did say, ear infections are common with Frenchies. It's just for some reason it got so deep into his nerves. So we took care of him. And yes, you mentioned we were supposed to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
But we had to push that trip back. And then in February, both Alyssa and I, on the same day, we got told that we both booked a lead role for a musical. Literally the same day.
Same day. And it was a long time since I had done a musical. So I've been auditioning and things like that. But it was just a really cool moment to find out together that we were both going to be doing musicals that year.
Yeah, that's right. So Alyssa had booked Beauty and the Beast. She was Belle. And we'll talk about that as the timeline goes down. So it's February right now. We get a call. I get a Zoom call, actually. They wanted to talk to me. The team wanted to talk to me from Signet Theater in San Diego. And they were like, we just wanted to get to know you more. I knew the casting director already. I was talking to the director and the music director, and I was answering some questions. And then from what I know now is that the director, Katie, was typing in the chat to Randy, our music director, saying, I think this is our guy. Let's just offer him right now.
Aww.
Literally on the call. And then, but to me, just watching, it all just seemed like one continuous thing.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, the director, Katie, she says, we'd love to offer you the part of John, Tick, Tick, Boom. And I'll just always be like, oh my gosh. I always remember just being in shock because this is a role that I never had a dream for because I never thought I would be John,
Mhm.
you know. So to be on that Zoom and get the offer right away was just so cool. I called my manager right away and we did all the contract stuff, and next thing you know, we had committed. So both of us, and then a couple hours, did you call me?
No, we were in the car driving.
Yeah, right. And you
I have a
opened
video
an
of
email.
this. Yeah. We were driving in the car to my parents' house
Yeah.
with our dogs in the back. And I got the email saying, congratulations. We would like to offer you the role of Belle.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of in shock. So reading it, I was like, I got Belle. Like I was like pretty chill about it. Because it was, I think, a few days. I thought I didn't get it. I hadn't heard from them for a few days. And if you are a musical theater actor or any actor, if you don't get it, you just don't hear back. You don't really hear that you get it or not.
I mean, like sometimes you'll get
sometimes
feedback, I guess.
but I feel like most times in the musical theater world, especially regionally,
You don't.
just don't hear back. So I had just let it go at that point. But I saw it and I was like, oh, I got Belle. And then he was like, what?
No way.
And then we started hyperventilating, and then
in the car.
and then we realized that we both booked something in the same day, and that was
Oh
really
my
cool.
gosh, that was so cool.
Yeah.
What
Cool,
a time.
cool.
What a time. Okay, so end of February, then things kind of take a little turn energy wise. We learned that my mom had a bowel obstruction that she
Mhm.
needed a surgery for. And I remember her saying that she needed to go to the hospital. And so I went right away. And that morning, and Alyssa, you stayed at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I went that morning to see her off before she went to the surgery. And I remember before she's getting this surgery, and if you're familiar with what this kind of surgery is, then you know. I looked it up on Google.
It's bowel obstruction surgery.
Yes, bowel obstruction surgery. I'm sure there was a specific kind of thing. Anyway, overall, I just looked it up on Google, and literally, I remember it saying the mortality rate is 50%, and my heart just dropped into my stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, like my skin, I just feel like everything was flushed out of me. I felt like I must have looked white in that moment. I looked at it and I remember I was sitting on my mom's bed as we're getting ready, you know what I mean? And I'm just trying to be as positive as I can. Did that one? Yeah, that's fine. I wonder if that it still records. Must, right? No, I mean if it still captured that. It must have, right? Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Let me finish the thought real quick. So yeah, I remember being as positive as I could, and even looking at my stepdad, just being like, okay, cool, you're about to go into surgery. And then that's when I realized how serious this surgery was. And I remember even filming her because I was thinking that,
Oh my God.
I mean, like a part of me was thinking that this could be the last time we see her live, honestly. And like Justine wasn't there. She came in a little later. Obviously, Jasmine's in New York. And I filmed some little things like, Mom, we'll see you after.
Mm.
And then she went into surgery. So yeah, do you remember how you were receiving all this info?
You were texting me, and I think I was somewhere with Kathy, because remember that night you had come home. I was out somewhere. I wasn't with you.
But I think you eventually came that same day.
No.
The day of the surgery?
No. I didn't come till later. Not the day of, like before. Wait.
No, I think you're mixing it up with the second time.
I'm mixing it up with the second time. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so she goes to the surgery. You did come.
I did come.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you did come
when
that
she
day.
was done, I think already.
Yeah. But those couple hours that we were waiting for the surgery, I remember Justine coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, we were just all kind of nervous, but being positive. Jasmine was on FaceTime with us. We were in the waiting room, and the surgery was taking longer than you hope it would. And for anybody who knows kind of what that feeling is when you're waiting for someone. It just feels like forever. And then anytime the doctor comes in the waiting room, you like get up to see if it's an update for you. You know, you're like, for Shirley, you know, and then I believe you came. I remember I was playing a lot of Lorcana on my computer because during that time you could play this card game that I play all the time on the computer through this app called Pixelborn. And I just remember just trying to play this to pass the time and matches and stuff. Anyway, longest 4 hours of my life. She eventually gets out and things seemingly are fine. And she gets discharged maybe the next day or she goes home at some point.
Yeah. She even had, I believe, even like my family visited, right?
Yeah, that first time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we ordered like boba and we're like food.
That's right.
But it was fine.
So we were in the hospital for a few days and then she went home. So even that week was crazy. And then she goes home and literally she gets an infection at the site of the surgery wound.
I remember we got a text or a call from your stepdad, Tito Joe. And he was explaining it slowly, but we could tell from the tone of his voice that something went wrong.
Yes. So she is at the hospital because of an infection. She rushed herself, like her and my Tito Joe, my stepdad, brought themselves to Kaiser Irvine. So not Kaiser Riverside where she works and where she got the surgery because it was nighttime and she wanted...
This was like in the middle of the night.
It was in the middle
like
of
midnight or 1 a.m.
Like 3 a.m.
3 a.m. Yeah, I remember because Kathy was with us.
Yes, that's
Kathy
right.
was sleeping over that night.
Yes, Kathy was with us and we were all up just talking.
We were getting ready for bed.
We were getting ready for bed and then we get a FaceTime, right? Teacher Joe calls us, FaceTime. He's trying to explain what's been going on. Then my mom just gets on the phone.
And that's when we knew things were bad.
She literally said, I have to do cardioversion.
Yeah, that's right. The thing where you go, do, like in movies.
Yeah. But I think there's also different terms for it because it was also to get her heart rate back up. So like her blood pressure was low and her heart rate was high or something opposite, medical people. And they had to try to get it back. So they had to shock her heart. And at this point, my mom knows what she's going to get, which is a shock to the heart.
Shock to the heart. You're too flame, darling. You like left it there wide open for me to take.
I was going to. And she knew what was going to happen and she was scared. And I remember her on FaceTime and she's also trying to call Jasmine and Justine on the same call. The group FaceTimes or whatever. And they weren't answering because it was 3 a.m. And for Jazz, it was like 6 a.m. She's probably not awake. And I remember my mom later told us that she was really mad that they didn't pick up because she was
trying to say bye.
She was saying goodbye to us. She was just like, in case something happens, I love you guys type thing. It was like the worst call to ever get. And this is a week after we thought she was getting better. And I remember Kathy there and me and Alyssa were holding hands. Kathy's also holding us and we're just like praying and we are just in shock. And I remember just being up and then waiting for it to happen. And we get a call from her stepdad saying that it happened and to come to the hospital. And I went straight to the hospital. I think you rested a little bit. With Kathy, and then you came later that day. But both me and Justine arrived at the hospital at like 7 a.m. or something like that. And I remember the doctor saying that she was in critical but stable condition. And like no one wants to hear that. You know what I mean? So anyway, this story, this could be a whole podcast.
Yeah, we're not even at like, this is like 1/4 of the story.
It's crazy. We were essentially all in the same waiting room every day. Which was kind of fun, like having visitors over. And I mean, it's fun to think about now, but like, during back then, we were like literally stressed every single day that anything could happen.
Yeah. So was not working. I mean, we were like answering emails at most, but we put aside all of our projects at that time.
Right. And the big thing was that I had a tour coming up in May
Mm-hmm.
before I would do Tick Tick Boom. And I remember also Alyssa wouldn't have been able to make the tour because she was doing Beauty and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to figure out if I needed to reschedule my tour. And during the time that my mom was in the hospital for the second time, I remember by this time she was conscious and she had been extubated, because that was a whole thing in itself. My sister came from New York. I had to straight up ask the doctor, I was like, do I need to tell my sister to come out here? And he nicely, politely said that she should start making arrangements. Then all of my mom's siblings came from Australia because I called the eldest sister to let her know that maybe they should come out. You know, I remember my Auntie Arlene saying, please let us know if we should come and don't let it be too late. And she's just crying.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember saying, okay. The next morning I just texted her, I say, I think you guys should come, because mom was not really doing well. She was like in an induced coma and intubated. Anyway, fast forward, she gets extubated and she's doing a lot better. Australians are here. And I got to let my mom know that I actually did reschedule the tour. And I told my mom that, hey, I was thinking about your recovery and I just want to be there for that. Anything you need. And I remember thinking that maybe my mom would be like, no, AJ, you should do the tour, you know?
That's what some people were advising you.
You're right.
To.
Yeah, there were people who advised me. And both ways are right. You know, there's no right or wrong in this kind of scenario, because yes, my mom is sick and she has a support system. But at the same time, I just wanted to be there. And I remember when I told mom that I was rescheduling the tour, and again, expecting maybe oh my gosh, you didn't have to do that. She literally just said, thanks, Anak, you know, like in that weak voice, because she wasn't all the way strong. And I remember thinking I made the right decision to just be there for my mom, and that everyone will understand. And we have gone through a lot as a family, you know what I mean? And like have been there for each other through all these things. And all my the people who bought tickets to the tour, my fans and supporters and stuff, they all were sending messages of love this whole time. So I just remember feeling peace about it, and no one gave me a hard time like, oh, I bought a ticket. Like some people did buy plane tickets to fly to certain places, you know? And I just remember them not giving me that hard of a time. And yeah, anyway.
So that was like what, May?
That was
April.
Yes. And when did you start rehearsals for Beauty and the Beast? May.
And then we were up in May.
We
started rehearsals in May, and then
we
did the show in May. And then we went through June.
Yes. Yeah. So we were prepping for Alyssa to do, you know, her lead role. And I remember the Australians, my mom's siblings, they were all over. We went to Disneyland and all that. So I took them to Disneyland when mom, because they took the trip out here.
Easter.
We celebrated Easter at the hospital. Yeah. Like all these things. It was just, it was a memorable time because our families were just, and Alyssa's family and everyone who came to visit the hospital was just, so it was so great. Like a lot of our friends stepped up. A lot of people sent
money for food,
Venmo meals. So I'll never forget that time, although it was so heavy for us, but everyone supported us. So I was really grateful for, you know, Alyssa. She just was such a great, you know, person of support, whatever she needed. And then also taking care of the dogs and being here holding down the fort. So then roles kind of switched a little bit in a way, because I was at the hospital most of the week. I would drive out to Irvine, and now Alyssa was at rehearsal for Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
Do you remember, though, taking it back real quick, moments when you're at the hospital and just thinking that things could, like our lives could change like 360, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was being pretty optimistic and positive for the most part, because I feel like I'm, what's the word for that? Like when you're when you are optimistic, but in a kind of in a bad way, like you never think anything bad's gonna go wrong.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
So I was pretty optimistic the entire time up until, I don't know, there was a period where it was pretty bad and they weren't really making progress. And things kept going up and down. That was like the hardest part. It was like good and then bad, good and bad.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to your mom, but I've never even told this to her, so she's probably like gonna be like, "Whoa."
You were talking to my mom while she was in a coma?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want to talk about this because I didn't want to bring it up or cry, but I remember telling her, like, you can't go yet because you haven't met her kids. So please, like, hang on. Because I mean, she doesn't even really pressure us to have kids and stuff, but like, she's like the one person that like we would want to meet our future kids. So, I remember telling you to leave and it being just us two, and I was holding her hand. And
I remember that moment.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when because it's like glass doors, you know.
Yeah. And I was like, can I just like talk to her?
Yeah.
And she's not gonna remember that. I haven't even told her that in person, but at that time she wasn't even giving us anything, like no squeezing or anything like that. So it was just me like trying to send her good energy to like make it through on the other side.
And she did.
Yeah, she did.
We need to get you a tissue.
This is a new part of our segment where we're going to sing our sponsors.
But we don't have any sponsors yet.
But if you would like to sponsor us, we can sing for you.
Yeah,
we'll make you a whole song.
We'll make you a whole song.
Let's do one for Wood Veneer Hub since they sent us this beautiful. Oh, what about Santo?
Yeah, we could do one for both.
Yeah. We have a new studio. It would be so ugly without this wall.
This is a studio where we just give a lot of love. Wood Veneer Hub. Wood Veneer Hub. Wood Veneer Hub.
It looks like a hug
on a wall. Wood Veneer Hub. Wood Veneer Hub. Thanks to our sponsor, Wood Veneer Hub.
That's just a little sample for you.
Just a little sample. We also want to thank Sanzo for always providing us.
Let's do a quick one for Sanzo.
Drinks.
Ready?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sanzo. 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 Thank you for the drink. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh. I have lychee flavor. Thank you, Sanzo.
Thank you, Sanzo.
Anyway, we were getting pretty heavy, so sorry to bring those tears to you, babe.
Oh yeah.
No,
that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool.
That wasn't cool?
No, I'm just kidding. It naturally came out, I guess.
I mean, you know, I'm sure throughout the season, This was clearly a big traumatic time for me, for all of us, for my mom. Hello, and it will be brought up throughout the season, I'm sure. But we just to wrap it up, she came home, and we just felt the love from everybody. And she has continued to get better, and we wanted her to retire, but she wanted to keep working. So she kept going, and she made a promise to Alyssa to see her as Belle and Beauty and the Beast. So here comes April, May, when you start to do the play.
Yes. So it was my first musical in over 11 years. The last time I did a musical was in high school. So this is my first professional. I mean, I did Mickey and the Magical Map, but there was no acting in that. I was just singing.
Yeah.
So that
was a 25-minute show?
25-minute show. I only had 2 costumes. So yeah, it was a big shift for me to jump in and do a musical again, even though that's what I've been wanting to do and what I've been training for.
Yeah.
It was a lot. memory wise, learning all this music.
Oh, I just remember Alyssa rehearsing and just being, just going over every song.
Yeah, I was
and
like a zombie.
it was great, like in every corner of the house, just like studying the lines.
Yes.
And then I was getting nervous because I was like, oh shoot, Belle doesn't, like, she's clearly in the whole play, Beauty and the Beast.
Barely leaves the stage.
But I was nervous because Jonathan Larson has like double the amount of words, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this. Like Alyssa's working this hard to do all, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I doubt that I can. Like in my mind, I was thinking while you were doing that, while you were rehearsing, I was thinking of ways to get out of Tick Tick Boom.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I swear. I was literally thinking of ways. But anyway, like Alyssa inspired me doing that whole, rehearsal process, because also at Nocturne Theater, they only did 2 weeks of rehearsal.
2 weeks of rehearsals. And then we had tech for not even a full week, a few days. This was their first season, so they didn't really know what they were doing.
Yeah, I'm not upset at them.
They've
It's just
fixed it since then. More rehearsals, better for the actors, better for them. So yeah, it's gotten better, I've heard. But at the time, it was crazy.
Oh,
we were
my
there
goodness.
for like so many hours, barely eating. Like we barely had breaks.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's tough when no one's union in the play, so you can't call the union, call equity and be like, hey, they're kind of, not that they were mistreating you guys, but I think that, again, they're in their inaugural season, so they're just learning. The more that people speak up, and you did, like I heard that you kind of said that they needed to take breaks or whatever.
Just
you
like
sent
asking
emails and stuff.
Yeah, asking for a lunch break and things like that.
Which
It's also because they were two people doing everything.
Yeah.
So they also weren't like, they were working really hard to do every single thing, like the marketing,
they're wearing
selling
so
the
many
tickets.
hats.
Yeah. So
And they're amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I loved meeting them.
Great people.
Yes.
Yeah, very nice couple that run that theater, the Nocturne Theater. We've gone since to support the other shows there and stuff. So yeah, that was a crazy time, but it was the best time ever. Dream role, one of mine. I never thought I could play Belle. When I got the audition for it, I was like thinking I would maybe get cast, not in any of maybe in another show, like not in Beauty and the Beast.
How they did their auditions was they do like kind of an open call for all the shows that
all
they're
the
doing.
shows at that season.
But I remember you coming home and you did the Into the Woods audition.
Yeah, I did the Into the Woods audition.
But then Justin, the director, was like, I'm sure we'll be seeing you very soon or something like that.
Yeah, he was
right?
like, we'll see you, like check your email. Like we'll see you
check
soon.
your email.
And then I saw my email and it said for Belle, and I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. Like that's even better.
Yeah.
And then later on I find out that after I did that first audition, he had written down by my name Belle already.
Wow.
Which is really cool that like someone could see me, this little Filipina girl could play Belle. Like just immediately after hearing my voice, like my first audition. So
because
cool.
like clearly I believe that you could do it, but also chances are is that they're not going to cast a Filipino.
Yeah,
to be
it's just
Belle,
like less chance.
There's less of a
now.
chance.
Like theaters are more open-minded of it, but it's always like you always go into the audition thinking, are they going to even see me as that?
So true.
Like, do I even? You already start to pigeonhole yourself for maybe one of the other characters that have been played by other Filipinos before.
Sure.
Like on Broadway and stuff. So that's what I was thinking. And I'm glad they gave me the opportunity because it was awesome.
Yeah. And clearly you're more than capable and you're so talented. So why wouldn't they see you as Belle? But again, the industry doesn't help the fact.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Totally. It's getting better though. I think there's currently 7 Filipinos in like lead roles on Broadway.
Yeah.
As Lea Salonga just recently posted
or
about.
Or more, maybe 9.
There's more.
Yeah.
There's more. I think just in like, the ones that we know about and the lead roles.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So it's, hopefully there's more opportunities for us in the future.
Watching Alyssa, I watched her every weekend. I saw it 9 times or 8.5 times.
8.5.
Because I remember coming after intermission one time because I had come from I don't know. I was also busy during that time, but I needed to come see it. And it was also down the street from
It's
our house.
literally down the street, which was so convenient.
Literally, Nocturne Theater was so close. It's next to Porto's, if you guys are familiar with Glendale. And getting to know the cast and everybody, and you know the people who are doing the concessions and stuff, and like,
Yeah.
oh, you're watching again. And one thing that I remember is when I first saw it opening night, and you coming out in your dress for the dance scene.
Mhm.
I remember, you know, your dress lights up and it comes out, and you and the Beast are doing the dance.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking, oh my gosh, is this like what our wedding looked like
Aw.
from like someone watching,
Yeah.
like their perspective?
That's so cute.
And it was cool that I got to watch that. And it was funny because like your cousins and some of our friends would be like, because Belle and the Beast kiss.
at the end.
At the
you
end,
know,
the prince,
happy
Belle and the
ending.
prince. Yeah, it's like, and I remember your cousins being like, dude, I
I
wouldn't be
don't know
able
if
to
I
handle
could do it.
I don't know if I could do it, man. Like,
man. I was thinking to do it.
dude, hey.
You're like, wait, was that a real kiss?
And I was like, dude, yeah, I mean, it's part of the story. And they're like, but what about rehearsal? I'm like, dude.
We barely rehearse. You don't. I mean, you can rehearse the kiss, but like you wait until you like kind of get. You can do whatever you want. We waited till we got into tech when we were like really in it
Right.
to
Right.
like, and we decided we have a talk before a professional.
Yeah.
Talk like, what are you comfortable with? You know.
Right. Yeah. That all with consent comes at whatever time that everyone's comfortable with. So it can be during rehearsals, or it can be during tech, or whatever, you know, as long as there's consent and the director knows about it, you know what I mean? All that stuff. So I had literally no, like I had, if anything, I needed to be a little more happy because I knew people were watching me.
Yeah.
Because I was literally sitting in the front almost every time.
Mhm.
And I remember people looking at me when you come out with the dress. Like anytime you came out, you know, after you sing Home, even in the beginning, people would always look at me and I'm like, you know, clearly overjoyed.
It's also a theater in the round, so you can see everybody.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
you can literally see everybody else watching. We can see, the actors can, but everyone in the audience can also see.
There are four sides everyone can see, and then of course the light bleeds a little bit to the crowd, and I'm there, and I literally during the kiss, I think I had to oversell that I was fine with it because I knew that people were watching
you.
And then of course after the play, they're like, we were watching you.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
gosh, especially during the kiss. Oh my gosh.
Who said that? That's funny. One of my cousins.
Either that or even a random person who knew that I was, you know, your
Husband.
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What a unique experience being your husband, being Belle's husband, because also random strangers would also be like, do you know someone in the play? I'm like, yeah, my wife is Belle. And they're just so freaking
Aw.
excited for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. But also the other hand of it, and I don't want to dwell too much on it, but I was watching out for people's, specifically non-Filipino people. Like I was wanting to see their kind of reaction and to you being Belle, you know? And I'm sure I was reading too much into it, but I'm just saying that was part of a factor of going and watching you 9 times, is that I
wanted to see the audience.
I could tell when there's like a little Asian girl who's just so excited to see you. And then I could also tell when there is a row of, you know,
palm colored people.
Yes. And they are maybe not as stoked, or that you have to really sing some crazy note.
Yeah,
for
it's
them
like
to
after
clap.
Home, and then they're like, okay,
yeah,
she's good.
Yeah, she can sing or whatever. She can.
I could feel that sometimes too. I'm like, just give me until at least like, you know, Belle Reprise or Home, and then I could sell it to you.
I mean,
I deserve.
You don't have to do that.
No, I know, but yeah.
That's something you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Which I also thought when I was John for Tick Tick Boom. Every night I was thinking about that.
I felt similar to you too, because that demographic I would say is even more
in San Diego.
In Old Town San Diego is even more.
It's older white crowd.
Yeah,
that's really the
older
demographic
white
there.
Crowd. Yeah, and so they're used to seeing, I think, more shows there.
Quote unquote traditionally
casted
shows.
Casted. That's not a word.
Whatever.
Traditionally cast. That's one of my pet peeves when people say I was casted or they were casted.
God, sorry.
I just had to bring that up. Anyway, Yeah, I felt similar to how you felt when you were watching me as Belle,
That
when
is
I was
so
watching you as
interesting.
John, because of the same reason, especially because there's only 3 of you in the cast.
Right.
So it's very, everyone's paying attention to you. And you're the first person we see. Yeah.
Right. That is so interesting.
Yeah. And I could hear snickers of people after your first one. They're like, oh, he's good. Stuff like that.
Sure.
They're like, oh, he's really playing. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I was
never
actually
heard
playing
anything
piano.
negative, actually.
Yeah.
So,
But I do think that, I guess the cool thing about us being non-traditionally, quote unquote, non-traditionally cast is that we do take people by surprise. We would do that normally because they would be used to seeing maybe a white Belle and a white Jonathan Larson. Clearly, Jonathan Larson in real life was Jewish white boy. So like they maybe are like, oh,
that's different. That's different.
And then you sing, and then I sing, and then you just have to believe it. You just have to go with it or not, And for my show, there was a review from a person who wrote for some blog that couldn't let herself believe that I could be in this story and wrote that I am not Jewish and that I don't want to put too much energy into it. It was a bad review, but I got all good reviews outside of that one.
You read all your reviews?
Well, I didn't read every single
That's
one.
number one. Don't do that if you're an actor, musical theater.
It was
Don't read all
hard
your
because
reviews.
I was one of 3 people in the cast for Tick Tick Boom. It's a true story. So like I wanted to live up to the story and I knew I was carrying the show in a lot of ways, similar that you did, like Belle carries a lot of the show. So it has to be a good performance. It really does for it to be a good show.
Yeah.
For both of us. And we both felt that weight. And that's really crazy that it was back to back. It was April, May for you. And for me, it was June 4th, the
July.
Tuesday after your show ended.
Yeah.
I went straight into rehearsals. I moved to San Diego to this very amazing household. Lonnie, Richard, May, love you guys. I moved there until August.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought it was July, but it was
June,
August.
July, and August. So I was in San Diego for 3 months.
And then what happened after August?
After August, 1 week after we closed, I did Crazy Talented Asians. Produced and music directed that. And Alyssa performed in that and obviously helped me produce it and everything as well. We had so many great people on stage. So many Asian American actors and singers that you might know from TV and film and Broadway. And the week after, left for tour for the Take Me Back tour.
Yes, closing out.
Real quick, though, we didn't talk about Tick Tick Boom a ton, but you can check out my podcast called 3524 that I did the very last week that I was in the show. So you can kind of check out my journey and see what my feelings were, because really that's where anxiety started. That's where a lot of things.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, we didn't really recap it. Sorry.
No. I talk about it a lot in that podcast.
Yeah,
so
that is a good plug.
Go
for
to
your
3524. That's when my anxiety journey began, and I've started taking care of it ever since. So I'm very thankful for it. I'm so thankful to the Signet Theater team, to our director Katie for just believing in me. Randy, music director, believing in me. My castmates Leo and Emma for believing in me. Very thankful. Yeah.
Yay.
Tour time, baby.
Tour time. So what happened on tour? Where do we go?
Our boy Devin was on tour with us, who's behind the camera. And he was videographer, photographer, also helped in a lot of ways set up. And that's kind of what tour was, because we were doing East Coast. We had already done West Coast tour. We talked about tour in the last season, that first half of tour. Now we took it to the East Coast. We were on a tour bus, and everyone just...
It was a crazy first experience for me doing the tour bus. It was... I thought I was not going to like it, but I actually ended up liking it. I just wish that our shower worked. I think that was the only thing that was tough, because it was hard on the bus. Because there was a shower there, but I used it once and it flooded. So we couldn't use it.
The drainage wasn't happening as fast.
Yeah. But it was fun. I mean, sleeping in bunks. The hard part was just being the only girl, I think.
Yeah. I think everyone was so, I think, thoughtful of that in a lot of ways, but old habits never die.
Can I tell you something?
Tell us.
The only person to ever make their bed every single day, other than me, of course.
Let me guess. Andrew Rim?
No, it was Devin. Every single day had his bed made, and it was always like very neat and clean. All of his like stuff was always clean. I was like,
I'm
wow.
not surprised. I should have guessed you
Rachel's
first.
a lucky lady.
Actually, yeah, Rachel. I don't know why I thought of Rim first because I know that.
Oh my
you
gosh,
didn't.
like the opposite. Like never made, but we love him. We love
him. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
For a quick context, for those who don't know how a tour really
like.
and how it works, yeah, like literally imagine, like we were on Garth Brooks's tour bus, I think. Like it's literally the ones that the major artists take as well. So if you can imagine, it's also just as expensive. So it's a very big expense that I am spending from my ticket sale money for us to be comfortable in, so we can go so we don't have to take so many planes as well, because that involves a lot of waking up and hotel and all that stuff. So for some routes, it makes more sense to take a tour bus. And yeah, we had an awesome driver and we had a great time. Although when we went into Canada, freaking custom officers gave one of our one of our crew members a hard time and sent him back home. And so our show in Toronto, we were missing that crew member, and everybody, but it also had everybody step up and really kind of rally together to make him proud, and also for the show to go on as well. But yeah, there were so many crazy things that happened on tour. A lot of good, crazy stuff. There was not a ton of bad things. I mean, some people got sick.
Not badly, though. I think it was just like, one of those things where you just catch a cold or...
Yeah, you catch a cold and
allergies.
You're trying to rest.
Yeah, that was pretty much it, though. We didn't run into anything that bad.
What was your favorite city on the East Coast tour? / visiting Seattle and Vancouver again, and then Las Vegas, Phoenix, Texas as well.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what was my favorite. They were all fun in different ways, but the one that's sticking out to me right now is Texas, because we went to that Vietnamese buffet.
Yes, we did. And unfortunately, at that point, we had to let half of the crew go.
Whoops,
and have them
picked a bad memory, huh?
No, and have them meet us back in Vegas, because there's so many logistics that go on to tour. If you can imagine me just spending all this money on my platinum card.
We're still in credit card debt from tour.
Yeah, it's just like, it's a tough thing. So I had made the difficult decision to have half of our crew stay home while we did Texas and Phoenix, and then meet us back in Las Vegas. But we did have some great times in Texas because it was really just like a small crew of 5.
Yeah, it was small crew, but yeah, I just remember a really big Vietnamese audience.
What was it called? Yeah, big Vietnamese audience in Houston.
Yeah, and most of the shows are like heavily Filipino.
Right.
And there was like so many Vietnamese people there, and it was cool.
Yeah, shout out to the Vietnamese American community out in Houston, man. Y'all really showed up. And then what is the name of the...
I don't know.
The
I don't remember.
Vietnamese buffet that we went to. It was amazing.
It was amazing. Something in Houston, though, you'll know it. There's like one big Vietnamamese buffet in Houston.
It was the best buffet I've had
If you
in my
ever
life.
go to Houston, you have to go there because, best Vietnamese food I've ever had.
Yeah, we owe you, Devin.
Yeah. Sorry, Devin.
Devin didn't go.
I know. I realized that after I said it, but that's when I really remember. I had a lot of fun ones, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Vancouver's always fun.
Yeah, Vancouver was great. My favorite one was actually New York because we got to film it.
Oh, yeah. Forgot.
And it was sold out. And I remember seeing this, when you see yourself on the marquee and it says sold out under you, oh my gosh, it's like the best feeling in the world. And we recorded that show with this company called Veeps. And so it's available on there if you want to go see it. It's a whole 2-hour show, and it's our full show. And it was amazing because both of my sisters were there, Jasmine and Justine. They came up with me on stage. My mom was there. And this is the tour that got rescheduled. So I'm thanking everybody for holding on to their ticket. And also, I get to see that my mom is in the crowd, and I get to thank her for making the trip out here just to see, me, and also My sister Jasmine was on Broadway at that time, so we all got to see Anne Juliet. I took my whole band, took the whole crew to watch her in the show. So I'm just so grateful for what that moment in time was, and I'm very grateful it got captured as well on a pro shot, essentially. Like if you're familiar with pro shots and how they do that. So yeah, it's there. Yay.
And then how long do we tour for?
I don't know. It felt like a long time. But I think it was only a month.
Yeah. Okay, then where else are we recapping? Where are we now? What month are we in?
All right. So I remember tour ending in October. We played our last show in Vegas, House of Blues. And that was a party, man. A lot of our friends came out from Riverside.
Oh, they were rowdy.
They were a little rowdy. Okay, y'all.
Arby. Alistair. Just calling them out.
But all the wives and the ladies were trying to, I find this out later, they were trying to get them to really calm down.
That's funny.
It's crazy. Just I don't know, the dude, like, especially our parent friends.
Yeah, they're just,
oh my gosh.
whenever our parent friends go out, they like go hard.
Yes.
Harder than we've ever gone with them.
Ever. I'm just like, I've never seen you this drunk.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's, you know, they
At
got
one
the
point
kids
we were
taken
like,
care of.
I think Arby's blacked out right now, actually. That's what we were thinking. Like, he's not going to remember the
There
rest
were
of his night.
moments. I mean, he had stuff on his shirt. I mean, I've been around Arby where he's been blacked out a few times. So I know what it looks like. And he wasn't that bad, but he was gone for a few hours.
Yeah, he was gone for a few hours. But we celebrated House of Blues at the Foundation Bar at the very top. And we all, had a celebratory drink, shots, bottles. It was really, really fun. So I, as rowdy as they were, I had to actually call them out in the middle of the show and tell them to quiet down because
it was distracting.
If you're familiar with House of Blues, there's like a pit area and then there's a bar area on the outside. And they were on the bar area to my right. And I could see them being just loud as hell. And I knew it was that. And I wasn't going to say anything until I saw people in the pit close to them looking back.
Yeah.
Like they're looking up.
Yeah. They're like, who are those people?
Yes. And it was also during,
our friends.
It was literally every time I sing my song Without You, I have this little emotional speech.
Yeah.
And they were just talking so loud and yelling and screaming. And then I had to nicely call them out and be like, sorry, hey, my friends, please. Like,
yeah.
I forget what I did, but
that's funny.
It's crazy that it got to that point. Anyway, tour ended and I was like, oh my gosh, we can now be anxiety free. Literally, I was thinking that when we get home from tour, I'm going to be free. I'm not going to feel anxiety anymore because I was feeling anxiety in Tick, Tick, Boom, especially during this one scene where I had talked to the birds and I'm like, my friend is dying. I literally felt in my chest anxiety every night I did. We did it 6 nights a week.
I cried every time.
I cried every time too.
I know. Yeah, obviously you did. But I cried every time too. I tried not to, like a couple times. But
yeah. It was heavy. It was very heavy. Anyway, my anxiety continues on tour and it started just being generalized anxiety. So it wasn't like moments where I was even thinking about it. It could be like when I was driving or if I was just walking around. So I was like, okay, well, after tour, after I've spent all this money and after we reconcile all the payments and all that stuff, I'll feel better. And then I remember laying down on the couch a week after tour and Alyssa sees me having like an anxiety attack, like my chest literally. And then Alyssa says, we should go to the doctor. So we went to urgent care to get an EKG and everything. And then, I was put on anxiety meds immediately. Literally was on Celexa for a week. And then I talked to a psychiatrist and I changed to Lexapro. And I've been taking Lexapro ever since the end of October.
Shout out to Lexapro.
Shout out to Lexapro. It's been 6 months since then. And I've also been seeing a therapist every week, which has been helping me. Shout out to my therapist. She's the best. And that's been my journey. And on my vision boards this year, I wrote myself. I got to take care of myself. I got to take care of my mental health. So I'm really glad that I've been taking that step.
Yay. Proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud of you for actually doing something. Because I think a lot of people, you think you have something wrong with you, you get it fixed.
Right.
And then you like move on or you stop taking your meds or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think that you said that is the goal, to eventually not have to take it.
Yeah.
But I think I'm proud of you for doing it, openly talking about it, and also getting a therapist, because
Thank you.
you've dealt with a lot of trauma in your life. Your mom's scare was just one. But I think the reason why you were so scared by that time of anything bad happening to her was because you were holding trauma from your dad and just other experiences of you being in hospitals.
Yeah, my dad actually passed away in the same hospital that my mom got her surgery at and continues to work at.
Exactly.
Kaiser Permanente Riverside.
Trauma.
No, literally, me telling my therapist that, she was just like her eyes open wide, like, this is crazy, like, just shocked. So yeah, I mean, it's funny. Even this morning, I had therapy this morning, and you had kind of told me to like clean something, or like you were like, why didn't you put the food away or whatever? And then I went straight into my therapy session, and I literally asked my therapist, I asked my therapist, I was like, why do I get defensive? Because I didn't say sorry. I remember just being like, well, it's your food.
Yeah, but he ate it.
No, I took a bite out of it.
He took a bite out of it. So
no,
you would think like
babe,
the next person.
I'm not even like, I'm trying to explain.
Okay.
Why.
Sorry.
Like I said, I didn't apologize. I should have. Is what I was trying to say. Instead, I got defensive, and then my therapist was like, "Let's unpack that. Why did you get defensive?" And where does that come from? And we started talking about shame, and also my childhood being, my mom was working nights all the time, so we were never really told to clean. I never made my bed, like things like that, and we got really, really deep.
Oh, I haven't even heard that.
I know. I'll catch you up later. Anyway, if this is a small sign for you to consider therapy, let that be the sign. I want to bring up one thing that the urgent care doctor told me, was that I was scared of meds because I didn't really know much about it. And I was like, well, if I'm already going to take therapy, maybe I can work that way. But also, I had the courage to do it because literally the urgent care doctor said, hey, you're trying to get yourself right. You don't have to feel horrible. And I was just like, oh my gosh, that was like the most profound thing. Like, while you're trying to get yourself right, you don't have to feel horrible, like while you're trying to get your mental health straight. So that's really where I was like, okay, well, if medicine and science can help me regulate that, then I'll do it. And I literally took my first meds that day because of that doctor. So shout out to that doctor.
Awesome. We love medicine, we love science, and we love the pit on Max. He's a Briones.
Brought to you by the pit. This episode is sponsored by
it's not.
The
we
Pit.
Just like the show.
We love the show. Yes, shout out to Issa. And thank you for supporting me on my mental health journey.
Aw,
Alyssa.
Of course.
And you at home listening?
When you're your best self, then we are our best selves together.
And my therapist told me today, when you have joy, like when the house is clean and you're joyful, because like I don't care when the house is whatever, like that, it just doesn't tickle my brain. But when the house is clean and you're joyful and happy and peaceful, my therapist was like, that brings out Alyssa's strength.
That is true.
So why not you guys both be the strongest that you can for each other? Anyway, it went on and on and on, and I was like, all right, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I love your therapist. Woo, shout out.
We are going to continue throughout the season catching you up, but we just wanted to give y'all the gist of what our 2024 was like. Clearly, 2025 had the most rough start with the fires out here in LA.
Oh my God.
And people out here in LA and Altadena and the Pacific Palisades are still rebuilding now. It's April. So we're thinking of them. But we have a new segment that we are going to do as this episode wraps up. And do you want to let them know what that is?
Yes. So, I mean, the title of our podcast has to do with peanut butter being sweet or savory.
Yep.
So as a new segment of our podcast, we're going to have every guest come on and show us how they make their peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Because just like how everyone thinks peanut butter is sweet or savory, everyone likes their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches differently
Yes.
or makes them differently.
Yes.
Different preferences. So I think it'd be fun to see how each person does that. And since we don't have a guest for our first episode, I'm going to be making my version of
Absolutely.
a
And
peanut
will
butter
you
and
make
jelly.
me one?
No,
Oh.
you have to make your own for the
Wait,
next
what?
episode.
You're not gonna give me a bite, like
Okay,
is it,
you can,
like, shouldn't that be a thing?
But like you can have a bite.
Shouldn't that be a thing?
Okay, like you make one and then they try
like,
it. Okay,
have you
yeah.
seen a cooking show? Like, have you seen Rachel Ray? Like, you're just gonna make it and eat it and not even be like, oh, you want to taste this?
Yeah. You're right. Okay.
Welcome to our peanut butter and jelly segment.
We don't have a perfect name for it
We
yet.
don't have a name for it. Help us develop this.
But this is a section where we are going to have each of our guests make a perfect PB&J.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It's perfect in your eyes.
Not perfect, but like you're perfect, like what you would like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
true.
go by it step by step. So
True.
I'm going to start off with bread. And
Yes.
I chose white bread.
Okay. And do you toast your bread?
Lightly.
Lightly. Okay,
Lightly.
lightly.
So I'm going to make two because
Is there a setting on this toaster? You just have to get it.
I have
out
no
early.
idea. This is our first time using this toaster. So.
Yeah, we just got it.
It's
So you're
beautiful.
using Sara Lee bread right now.
Sara Lee
Smart.
bread, which
Okay.
I don't know. I was gonna get Wonder Bread just because, but I grew up actually eating Sara Lee bread.
Really?
Yeah.
Fancy.
So that's why I chose it.
Yeah, I love that this is going to bring out how people grew up.
It's
You know what I
nostalgic.
mean? It's
Yeah.
nostalgic.
Okay,
It's
so
nostalgic.
I'm gonna toast
Okay,
2 pieces of bread
sure.
lightly.
Let's do it.
Um,
Go for it. I love this section. This food because we're also gonna get to eat after.
Wait, I think is there any? No, it's just a toast. I guess.
Amazing.
Just a basic.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Ready?
so-
Here we go.
Step 1, toast the.
Well,
Step 1, toast the bread. Oh, it's digital. Oh.
Whoa! It's digital. Okay.
But look, gluten-free bagel or frozen. And you
Oh,
can do, like,
shoot,
how
that's
toasty you want it,
insane.
and I don't want mine.
Yeah, just two. A two.
I don't want mine toasty.
So is it started?
Yeah.
It started for sure. Yeah, you put it all the way down. There you go. Wow.
There we
Okay, we're
go.
figuring out this
So,
toaster.
While we wait for the bread to be toasted, I'm gonna open up my peanut butter of choice, which is crunchy peanut butter. I like a texture,
Mm-hmm.
so crunchy peanut butter.
Yeah. Skippy one day.
Skippy.
One day.
This is also what I grew up eating. Skippy.
Oh, nice. Extra
More-
crunchy.
Yeah, crunchy. More than Jif.
GIF.
Jif. And then I'm gonna use strawberry.
Yeah.
jam
Yeah.
Because
Amazing.
I don't know, just what I like.
Lucky for you,
Smells
that's what I like.
Okay. So we just have to wait for that. Do you want to ask me any questions while we wait for?
Yeah.
Or you just want to wait?
No. I guess this is maybe like hot ones.
Yeah, it's like hot ones.
What was your favorite song, Beauty and the Beast?
Oh, my favorite song to sing?
Yeah.
Home.
Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because that is, I mean, I was familiar with that song before. I think I sang it maybe like one time in college or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that song. But I also,
It's a beautiful song.
when I was talking to a lot of people in the audience, their favorite song was A Change in Me. But for me, that was more difficult for me vocally to sing. There, perfect.
Yay, nice.
That's
Okay.
a perfect
That's a perfect toast. Okay.
toast because it's not.
Should I
don't
put
want
these
it.
other ones in?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I can do it. I don't like mine too toasty. Just like a light toast.
Light toast. Okay.
Light
Great.
toast.
Love
enough
that.
for it to have structure.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna put the bread off. To
Yeah,
the side.
sure. Please do. Oh, just give it to me. Give it to me.
Give it back. Okay, and we'll get started on our first piece.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, when I was in Beauty and the Beast, when I was surveying the audience of what their favorite song was, it was A Change in Me. Most of them said
Yeah.
because I don't know, they liked the way I sang it, I guess. But
Mhm.
for me, it was more difficult to sing vocally. So
Yeah. For those listening now, Alyssa is now putting extra crunchy Jiffy.
extra
Or is it Skip?
crunchy,
What, Skippy? Skippy
onto a piece
to
of bread.
the lightly toasted bread.
Bread, yes, and it is indeed extra crunchy.
It is. It looks
I don't
crunchy
think
as
I
hell.
normally get this crunchy, or like in the past, I don't really make peanut butter sandwiches anymore.
Ooh, yay.
Okay, I'll get those. Let those cool.
Awesome. Love it. Okay.
And I'm spreading it to one side.
Spread.
Spread.
Speaking of spread, what is your favorite game on the Nintendo Switch?
Rhythm Kitchen.
Ooh, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rhythm Kitchen.
Rhythm Kitchen.
From Mario Party.
From Mario Party. It's not in the Mario Party game. I mean, it's not like a level or
It's a separate
mini
island.
game. Yeah, it's a separate island. It's not a mini game.
Yeah.
And you have to go to the beat of the rhythm. You have to do certain kitchen tasks.
Yeah.
Like spreading butter on bread or chopping veggies, putting it on a skewer.
Love it.
I'm gonna put a little bit more. I like
okay.
peanut butter actually.
I don't know if mine's even gonna have jelly. I feel like
what?
Yours is gonna have jelly.
What? You're
Yeah.
gonna make a PB&J with? No wonder you think peanut butter is
Savory. Well, my therapist this morning, because I told her about the podcast, she literally said she has a peanut butter and butter sandwich.
That I like peanut butter and butter too.
Okay.
I've had that before.
So you're putting peanut butter on both sides?
No.
Oh, that's for the second
This is for the other
sandwich.
side, just
Okay.
because those are still warm.
I see. Okay.
So
That's cool. Okay. I like it. Very cool. Okay. Here's another question for you. What was your favorite song in Tick Tick Boom that you saw me?
ooh,
I mean, it doesn't even have to be
the
my song.
last song that you sang. I don't remember
Louder
the
Than
name.
Words.
Yeah, it's the sad one,
Why-
right?
Oh, wait. The one just me solo or the actual finale?
Not the finale. Yeah,
Okay.
solo.
Yeah, it's called Why.
Why? God, that got me every
gosh,
time. Every freaking time, especially when you're just the way you talk
When
about
I
Michael.
was 9,
Yes. Oh my God.
Michael and I.
If I'm listening to that song like on Spotify, I wasn't feeling, you don't get emotional from it,
Yeah.
but
in the
watching it
context of the play.
live, yeah, watching it live was different.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Okay, so both of the breads are now
Most of the
peanut
breads
buttered.
are peanut buttered.
Okay.
Um,
What's next?
I'm gonna wipe off my.
Okay. Next time we'll have
no,
two knives.
Wipe off the
Next
knife.
time we'll have two knives.
Yeah, next time we'll have two knives.
Okay.
But I'm wiping it off,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to put the jam on the other side.
Okay. What kind of
Actually-
jam did you get?
I got strawberry jam.
Smuckers.
Smuckers. Actually, this is strawberry preserves, which I just realized through Meghan Markle's new show on Netflix with Love Meghan. It's not that new, but it's new to me. Preserves are different than jam.
Okay.
Something about the sugar content, but
Okay.
This is the one that I'm
It's fine.
using.
I'm sure it tastes the literal same.
However, if I had butter, I would butter this bread before I put the jam on.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, yeah.
I just don't have
That's
that right
different. That's something different.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Love that.
So-
Okay. Here's another question. Come to my mind right now. Here we go. Question coming. Question number 3. Here we
now.
go.
And if you're watching,
Or
if you're listening, I'm just spreading more.
that's
of
a
the-
shit ton of jam.
Okay, well, this is my sandwich.
You're
and
right.
You're gonna try it.
I super apologize for the way that I just went into that.
Yeah.
It does look like it's a lot. No.
Really? Okay, I'll put a little less.
Okay. What is your favorite dessert?
Just in general?
Yeah, in general.
Ooh, it changes on my mood. I tend to like fruitier desserts
Yeah.
over chocolatey desserts.
Okay.
Yeah, just like something to balance out the sweetness. I don't like
Mhm.
things that are too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I just saw someone it was Keith Lee on TikTok said that matcha desserts are for the girlies that don't like desserts that are too sweet.
Oh.
And I
Okay.
think I like desserts that are not too sweet.
Okay.
So not too rich. But anything that has like a cream, like a creme brulee. Okay, yeah, I put too much. Future guests, don't worry. We fam.
We fam.
We fam.
In the club. We all fam.
We all fam. Okay.
Amazing. Okay.
So
great.
I spread the jam on one side.
Okay,
and
now
the
let's
peanut
see
butter on
how
the other.
you put it together and how you cut it. I think that's what we're going to be watching out for.
Right.
Oh, and I just had a thought.
So
I
I'm
think
gonna-
this is where we'll do like Instagram questions for the guest.
Yeah. That's
You
a
know,
good idea.
yeah.
Okay. So
All right, let's see it.
gonna put that
Okay.
on top.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay. We're going to see how Alyssa's cutting it now. She's cutting off the crust. She's cutting off the crust.
I don't like the crust.
Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oh my god.
Is it really that crazy?
I think it's crazy. I've never done that.
I don't
I've never
like
done that.
crusts. So
wow. Okay. No,
I
that's
cut
fair.
them
Okay.
off.
Yeah. I'm curious to now see how others are going to do this. Very cool. Or if someone's just like, oh yeah, I just eat Uncrustables.
That's what I prefer actually, because cutting off the crust, as you can see, is kind of a daunting task.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, That looks amazing though, babe.
But
Great stuff. Okay,
I
Alyssa's
just
now
don't like
cutting the second half. Okay, yep, I see it. I see the vision. It's kind of like a Japanese sando.
Ooh.
Love that. Love that. Cutting the crust off. And your nails look really great as well.
Oh, thanks. I don't have my rings on, by the way, just for the audience. Don't worry, we're still married. I just didn't I didn't want to, because I left them in the room that the dogs were sleeping in.
Yeah.
I didn't want to wake them up.
Yeah, true.
So-
We got to take them out soon.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay.
and
So we
then-
have a peanut butter sandwich, no crust, heavy on the jelly, but looks pretty even.
Yeah.
And Alyssa is now cutting it diagonally. Whoa, this is crazy. Okay,
Yeah,
I
it's
see.
like Japanese style.
Yeah, I see.
I actually feel like I should have cut it diagonally first. 'Cause
before the
now it's
crust.
like-
Yeah.
Now it's
It's been a while
splitting
since you've
out.
made one, I'm sure.
It has been, because I normally just get Uncrustables.
Right.
But yeah, this
right,
is gonna
right,
be like a
Okay.
really fun task. I feel like unless you just like this as a snack,
Uh-huh.
you probably would maybe don't make this unless you have kids.
Yeah, but now we're doing it
the
to bring
podcast.
some childhood back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited to see how some of our guests do it.
Me too.
Well, yeah, this is a fun section. And now do I get to try?
Yes. So
Oh,
now
thank
you
you.
get to try
All right, let's cheers.
You get the prettier one.
Okay.
So here you go.
Thank you so much.
Do you want both halves or
No, I just wanted a piece. And Devin can have a piece as well
Yeah.
after
Okay.
this. Okay.
Cheers.
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 Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Eating
Mm.
it. Mm.
Mm-hmm. I do like the extra crunchy.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice texture.
It is.
I like strawberry. I just like strawberry flavored things. So whenever I do like a peanut butter and jelly thing, or if I get Uncrustables, I choose the strawberry over the grape.
Love it. Love that section.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the sandwich.
Mhm.
Well, thank you so much for listening to Sweet or Savory.
Thank you. If it's your first time tuning in, make sure to catch up and listen to our old episodes of
Yes.
peanut butter being sweet or savory. Is Disneyland better or Disney World better?
Which way do you face in the shower and how do you wipe your ass?
Whoa, yeah, I guess we did talk about
and
that.
our most viewed episode,
Can you be friends with your
ex?
More topics like that on this season, I think.
Yes, I hope
I
so.
want to talk about I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but if it's okay if people can be platonic friends, like can guys have like girlfriends,
Yeah.
best friends, or
Mhm.
girls have guy best friends? We haven't talked about
best
that.
friend- Yeah, that's a little touchy, huh?
It's touchy, and I want to hear what people think. So
Don't forget to follow us and interact with us on social media at Sweet or Savory Pod on Instagram. And please email us at sweetorsavorypod@gmail.com if you have any kind of questions or whatever.
Yeah.
Comments, concerns,
or ideas?
hate mail.
No,
No, please rate and review our podcast. Yeah, we love y'all.
we love y'all, and we'll be seeing you. You'll be seeing more of us.
Yes. Special thanks to our guest producer today, Devin Nelwan, and also to everyone who helped us with the studio
Yep.
and to launch our new podcast.
Yay!
Yay!
Stay sweet.
Or savory.